Hello everyone. Finally I have this thing accomplished and I wanted to do a project share. So here is, it's all tangled up. Here is the charm dangle for my son's journal, and it's just held on with a big lobster type clasp and a bullnose clip that I inked. Okay, so here is this big fat chunky monkey, and so these are hinges that I decided to put on here for the cosmetic effect. Okay, and this is elastic cord. So the theme was steampunk, but I didn't have enough steampunk stuff to do it with, so it went to steampunk and vintage. So this little one here has a ledger, piece of a ledger on it. And Tony, if you're watching this, a lot of these dyed papers and such are because of you. A lot of inspiration from Tony in this, along with the sellotape. So there's just a lot of, see, this one here is copy dyed paper. So, and then there's like pieces of travel book in here. And this is a pocket here. And then this is more from a travel book. This here's an altered playing card. Maggie from Sunset Crafts is the inspiration for that. So, and then there's this one that has like it's a pocket, but it has a couple of index cards that I distressed in it for him to be able to journal. He had said that he didn't want to run out of paper, so I was making sure that he wouldn't run out of paper. So there's some journaling cards and stuff in that. So there's these here. This is inspired from Vibe Vintage, but the stamped ephemera in here is inspired by Crafty by Tony, and more dyed papers in here. And then this here with the verdigris finish is inspired from Sergio Aranda. And these like masterboard pieces were inspired by Sophie from Crafty Platypus. It's another crinkly dyed paper. This is also dyed paper. I used food coloring on that. Okay, and this one was food coloring and then coffee splatters inspired by Crafty by Tony. And there's a map of Albuquerque there. So there's some of these here like this. Okay. And then there's this. All right, so then on this page here, I don't know if you can see, whoops, that there is stuff underneath that it looks like it's embossed, but it isn't. This is from Crafty by Tony inspiration with the metal tape. And then I just did some die cuts of gears and put it underneath there. And so it raised up. Remember when she was making the number tags? So she inspired me on that one. So I think that one turned out pretty good. So, and then Tim Holtz on the inking. Inside here is a tablet that I made. I don't want to untie that, but you can see It's got a little hidden notebook in there, okay? So this was masterboard stamping inspired by Crafty by Tony, okay? This is just a bunch of envelopes that I used, and this is a writing spot. And then I left these white so that my son could write on them, okay? All right, and then just keep going here. This with the mushrooms, and the postage stamp, that kind of thing was inspired by the Crafty Platypus. That's Sophie, okay? And then some aged photographs inspired by Tim Holtz and Crafty by Tony. And then this is just a belly band with a bunch of things that my son can write on. Just pull those out on a brown paper bag. I love to craft with envelopes and brown paper bags a lot. So this is all old book pages. Like, this is a cool book that I took apart. And this one right here, I love this page here. I like what I was able to do with this stamped image of this old-fashioned bicycle. Okay, and then there is more. Okay, and a little journal spot right there, and a flip flap here. Okay, and then another pocket that I made out of a book page, and then this is a journaling spot. It's just a tag. And the blue and the green paper you see is colored with food coloring. And then there's just more of these pages here. Just some more pages. And then, I love this. This is from an antique book from like the 1950s. This is a post office in Mexico. So I made that look old also for interest. And these here are just some little ephemera bits. I didn't know if he wanted to take them out and use them, but then there's a big pocket here because this is the front of a brown paper bag, which I made a big tag out of old advertisement paper. And it's to be written on. And then there's this blank piece of the bag, and my son can write on it. And then I had made some pockets out of brown paper bag a while back when I was crafting with those. So this is inspired by Sophie. It's a big, like a reindeer kind of looking thing. Okay. And then there is this for writing on. And these elk here, my son's Indian name is Standing Elk. So I wanted him to have the elks standing there. And then on the inside of that is a big tag that's kind of fancy with Harlequin paper. So there's that. And I didn't have any book corners, so I improvised, and then I verdigris finished these. So I'm thinking he's really gonna like this. And so that's that. It was a lot of work. Like, it took me forever to get this done. So anyway, that's my project share, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.